guys, and I'm back again with another resin video, and today I'm trying out this new mould. It's like a puzzle game, somewhat like Tetris if you like, but all of the pieces will fill in this hexagon base, and I'm starting off with filling that up first. And I'm unsure as a new mould. Normally I fill them with water to see how much resin they hold, but I was being lazy, so I just guesstimated. And you'll see as this video goes on that I guesstimated wrong, but luckily enough I had some extra clear resin that I'd mixed up just in case. Now the pigment that I'm using was a blue alcohol ink, and it turned this funny colour, like the orangey red type colour. So I am really hoping that it dries back black. I'm hoping it dries back blue. That was hard to say. So I'm just going around with a cocktail stick just to make sure that there are no bubbles along the edge. But anyway, yeah, going back to this pigment. These are new alcohol inks, so I really wasn't expecting it to go a funny colour. But I also have some other pigments, like liquid pigments for resin, and the blue does the same. So it turns this funny colour, then as it dries back blue. So I'm hoping this alcohol ink one does, because I used that for the outside bit, but then when I mixed up the rest of the resin to fill the whole mould up completely, I used my other colourant, so I know that will actually dry back to the blue colour. So yeah, so we've got fingers crossed that as this cures and dries, that the whole of it dries back to the blue shade, and not just the middle dries blue and the rest of it stays this funny colour, because I don't think that'll go, and then this will be a complete resin foul and a waste of resin. So fingers crossed on that. But until I unmould it and it dries, I won't know. So off camera I am just quickly mixing up some more resin just to fill in that, and then tip that in, and then yeah, that's that. So as you can see, I mixed up some more and didn't make enough again, so I quickly mixed up another amount and then tip that in, and then just spread it around to cover the whole mould, because by now I'd used 120 ml of resin. So I hope that helps you out if you've got this mould and you do resin. The actual base takes 120 ml. So, and the actual other pigment dried a little bit darker, and as you can see I'm trying to mix them in with the lighter one around the edge that was the alcohol ink blue. So I'm hoping that the first time of trying this out, it's not a complete fail, because 120 ml of resin will be expensive to waste, because yeah, it's not the most cheapest item to buy. And then as usual I go in with my clicky lighter to pop all the bubbles, and then I'll spritz with alcohol, let that air dry, and then pop the remaining bubbles. And then we'll move on to the other part of the mould, which as you can see are all sectioned to create the pieces of the puzzle. So I've covered that over now, so while I'm working on this one, because my arm will be going over it, I don't want any dust or whatnot to go into it. So we're starting off with an orange pigment, and we're going to fill up a couple of different shapes with that one. As you can see, I'm trying to do it without my arm going in camera view, but it is awkward. So then we decided to take the stick out of it, so you can see me actually tipping it into the puzzle part. And on looking on these two moulds when I received them, the picture from the seller I bought from eBay could be a bit misleading into the fact that all of the puzzle pieces fit inside the hexagon snugly, because I've got a funny feeling there is going to be a slight bit of what I'd like to call wobble room, so that, you know, there'll be a gap around them so they're easily to take out and whatnot. But until I unmould it and try it all, we will have to wait and see. So now I'm going in with a nice bright neon green pigment to try and mix the colours up. And again, if you've got this mould, I will tell you now that the remaining resin that I had, that I made different colours, I had 60ml left because I made 180ml in total, and ended up using 120ml on the actual base, and that 60ml wasn't enough. So this shape mould takes 100ml, and it just depends how you separate it to like section it up for that, to add your different colours to, if you want to make different colours or whatever. But yeah, so this whole mould altogether takes 220ml of resin. So that's out there for you guys if that helps you out. So yeah, so just finish on filling these bits up with different colours. So like I said, I didn't have enough, so I had to, after the pink, mix up some more resin from scratch to make my final 3 colours. I was just going to do a yellow and a purple, but decided to add a red as well. So yeah, apologies for my arm, but like I said, it is my actual workspace where I do my resin now is not the biggest of spaces, and it's slowly getting cramped and filled with more items, and I'm still waiting on a load more moulds from AliExpress that I bought, and delivery is taking a while. So yeah, so I have I have not a nice desk to mix up on, but it's not the best of spaces to be doing resin. So once I mixed up my other resin and I coloured it to the 3 remaining colours, I carried on adding the resin to the shapes to fill the whole mould up. And it's coming up a bit darker on camera than it is somewhat in person, but again, I had my ring light on because I needed to see what I was doing. I normally turn it off for videos, but because this one was a lot of mixing resin and making more resin, I just totally forgot to turn it off completely, so that doesn't help with the quality of the colour from my video, but for me pouring it, it helps. And then in we come with the final colour, which is purple. Carefully, because I don't want to drip any colour into the others. And that is that filled. And then again I go across with my clicky lighter. And off camera I did sort of like dip them with a cocktail stick to make sure there was no bubbles around the edges, but that's the thing with my words today are terrible. We'll start that bit again. That is the thing with resin. It's one of those things that you can try your hardest to pop every single bubble, but some of them are so persistent that they just will not pop, and as the resin cures and gets thicker, they are harder to pop. So I do try my best. I'm finding the clicky lighter helps, as long with spritzing them with a bit of alcohol. So yeah, so that is this part of the video done. And for me, like normal, it's going to be a complete day, but for you, you can watch straight away and see me unmoulding them and how they fit into the base, and if the complete base dried back blue. So continue watching. Okay, so I'm back for the unmoulding, and as you can see, it did dry back blue, but where I used the alcohol ink first around this outside piece, that hasn't actually dried as blue as, say, like this, although it is coming across purple on camera. And excuse my, look at that, my lovely ring light. I could turn it off, but I will lose a bit of colour, which is a shame. So that is why I'm leaving it on. So yeah, it sort of looks like it's gone blue around the edge, but the actual alcohol ink. And before I mould it, I'll just quickly grab it if I can find it. So that was the alcohol ink I used, and then my actual blue pigment is that. So this is the one that I know does change back to this blue, but obviously the alcohol ink doesn't. So whether that's my mistake, because I've never actually used alcohol ink in resin like that before, that's what it could be. But anyway, let's get on with unmoulding this. So yeah, I mean, it does look pretty. It is rather on the large side, so I am just going to turn it over and carefully. So that's what it is, it's getting it out of all of them corners. Once I've got it out of all of them corners, we'll be good to go, because I don't want to rip the mould, because obviously it's a new mould and you have to be careful with silicone. There we go. Oh, so that's not too bad, to be truthful. That isn't too bad. I mean, it's transparent, which is what I wanted, and you can see a few micro bubbles through it and a spit mark. But at least that hasn't stayed that horrible dodgy orange colour that it goes. It's sort of a transparent blue, but because this is blue and the edges have dried blue, yeah, I mean, it's weird to look at it, but I'm happy with that. So now we'll get on to the pieces. Now, if I turn them over, I am very, very scared that I'm hoping that is just some of the pigment that has come through the top, and it isn't a complete foul, and that's what you call a bubble. So let's take this red first. This is going to be awkward. Once I get the first one, the others will go easily, so bear with me. Oh, there we go. Oh, I'm happy with that. That's come out. So now the others should now sort of come pretty much easily, she says. The blue one. Now actually, do you know what, I'm going to put them in here as I go, for the simple fact that, hang on, now yeah, see, now that's not going to work. I'm going to end up completely, oh, I don't know, here we go, this could be a laugh on here now. As we take these out, because I don't want, so where would that go? There? No? There? No? See? Here we go. So anyway, we're just going to carry on taking them out. And it was the green one I was worried about, because of the, I didn't know if it was pigment or bubbles, and this is causing me, I think it's just pigment. It doesn't feel like bubbles, it's very shimmery. Can you see what I mean? Once you get the first one out, they all decide to come pretty easy, because you can then manipulate the mould. You can see the multiple possibilities on how to fill this with these pieces, but I am so happy with the way they've came out. And you can see each one has got a little triangle section piece, so I am super happy with them. I was a bit dubious. And I'm not even going to attempt on camera to try and fill all these in, although I will have to for my photo. But yeah, so there we go, one resin Tetris style game. This will be available on my website very, very soon. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. And until next time, stay safe. Bye.